Oh man, alright, Chad. I kind of just want to get this shit over with. I was really hesitant to fucking even finish this and make this fucking video because, like, this case was just fucked up, honestly, dude. Like, just thinking about it upsets my stomach, dude. It's
It
like one of the,
upsets his glandulars.
like, it's just one of those things where, like, fucking, like, just knowing about it, dude, is
Yeah,
enough to do
his
psychological damage. Like, fuck. Oh man, it's like fucking watching a scary movie as a kid, you know, like once you watch it, you can't not know about it anymore.
nigga what? Nigga what?
But alright, let's do this
And then
shit.
strangled to death and buried on High Island Beach. His remains were later discovered there, but because Kepner was old and the most, just all I would do until I've dextered his fucking ass. On November the 15th, 1972, Coral abducted Richard Kepner, a 19-year-old carpenter's apprentice, when he was walking to a phone booth to call his fiancée. He was subjected to the same tortures as the other victims and then strangled to death and buried on High Island Beach. His remains were later discovered there, but because Kepner was older than most of Coral's victims, he was not immediately connected to the case. His remains were identified a decade later in 1983. On January the 20th, 1973, the now 33-year-old Coral moved to a house on Wirt Road in the Houston suburb of Spring Branch. David Brooks lived a block away from him on Antonine Drive. Brooks started dating a neighborhood girl named Bridget Clark. Brooks and Coral also became familiar with 17-year-old Joseph Larles, who also lived on Anton Drive. Sometime around February the 1st, without the assistance of Henley or Brooks, Coral lured Joseph Larles to his residence, tortured and murdered him. Coral then buried Larles' body on a beach in Jefferson County, 75 miles outside of Houston. His remains were found in 1983, but were not identified until 2009, when DNA testing matched it to the Larles family. His sister Barbara said, "We had pretty well lost all hope. At least this puts an end to it. It's still sad, imagining what happened." On the 1st of March, Coral moved into an apartment on South Post Oak Road, but shortly thereafter moved to a house on 2020 Lamar Drive, which had been previously occupied by his father, Arnold Coral, who was now 57, still residing in Houston, and had remarried and just moved into a new home. Meanwhile, in March 1973, in an apparent attempt to distance himself from Coral, Wayne Henley moved in with his father at Mount Pleasant, about 250 miles north of Houston, and got a job at a gas station.
Jesus.
Bro. He's like, I don't like this life anymore. I'm just going to move away and start a new job. And he...
Yeah, that,
At some point there's going to be a knock in the door and they're going to strap me to a gurney and put a needle in my arm.
Oh, hell no.
Tick tock. You got to go to Lebanon, my man. Around the same time, Henley applied to the US Navy, though he was ultimately rejected on June 28th. Maybe that's his plan. Maybe that's how he's going to get to Lebanon and then desert. During this time, there was an apparent alleged hiatus in the Candyman murders. There are a few possible explanations for this. The first is that Coral is known to have suffered from a medical condition in early 1973 called hydroceletestis, where fluid collects in the testicles, causing the scrotum to enlarge. That does not sound pleasant. In some cases, it can cause pressure, discomfort, and even pain, making it difficult for the sufferer to have sex. This may have eliminated Coral's ability to assault any victims.
Play heard and say.
Eventually, however, he got the fluid drained, and the medical condition alone does not account for the full duration of Coral's alleged hiatus. The second explanation is that Coral was actually carrying out multiple murders from February through May with the assistance of Brooks and Henley, and thus we have no clear information on them. Indeed, roughly a dozen teenagers who fit the victim profile went missing in Houston during this time, and they may well have been murdered by Coral. What the fuck? It's like a few months. What was the hiatus? How many months? February through May. It's like 4 months. And how many? A dozen teenagers went missing? What the fuck is going on in Houston? Is that normal? How many people can go missing?
Yeah, what
in
the fuck, dude? Like, do people
Wayne
just
Henley
like,
moved
bro,
back into his
what? Like, that's just like, oh yeah, you know, he walked down the block, he went missing. Oh well, runaway teen. Fuck, like, bro, what the fuck? Do cops just not look into this shit? Like, you just disappeared. Like, these motherfuckers were just like, oh yeah, you disappeared. Oh, well, did you look up in the sky? Why? Was the bat signal up? Because that'll explain everything. Bat signal was up, so it disappeared. Like, bro, what?
This house in Houston.
What? Can you imagine, dead ass, a police officer telling you that straight to your face? Oh, well, yeah, you know, ma'am, it was nighttime, you know, the bat signal was probably up. That probably means your son was caught up in some shit. What do you mean? He's fucking 12!
To come through. He resumed
Bro,
hanging out with Brooks and
what?
Coral. The three of them were regularly seen at Hart's, a fried chicken restaurant near Hamilton Junior High, talking primarily to 7th graders. During this time, Coral also began showing up to the now 17-year-old Wayne Henley's house to visit. Oh my god, this dude's so... Wait, he could potentially, like, because he's young when he was doing all these horrible crimes. That could be a defense, right? Henley's mother and siblings got creeped out by Dean because he'd rarely speak and would just sit and stare at them while the family chatted. Yeah, it's fucking creepy, that's why. Nevertheless, they tolerated Henley's strange friendship with the 33-year-old man, and at the beginning of June, Dean Coral's alleged hiatus abruptly came to an end. Henley later claimed that he felt he had no choice but to participate in the subsequent killings. Quote, "I couldn't leave anyway. If I did go, I knew Dean would go after one of my little brothers, who he always liked a little too much." Well, oh god, you gotta go to a lawyer, my dude, because you gotta get this guy off the streets
Oh man.
and cut a deal. Even though I don't like, the deal for you that I would be like, if as the prosecutor or whatever, is I'll be like, here's the deal: life without parole.
Dude, no, hell no. The only deal that I would give this guy is you're going to jail in general pop, and the only conditions that I give you is that I can't guarantee that you won't get anally raped the first fucking day that you get to jail, bro. Because after the shit you've
That's
done,
it.
my boy, oh man, you deserve a date with the booty warrior. Oh man, after the stuff you've done, my boy, you make a Jeffrey Epstein actually look innocent. Like you make this guy
That's
look like,
crazy.
yeah, Nero. The fact that this guy makes Jeffrey fucking Epstein look like a normal robber, dude, just like a normal pedophile, dude. You know, just like a fucking
What the?
guy.
Wait, are you playing a game, nigga?
No, dude, I'm fucking. So yesterday I started. This video is like 2 hours long, 2 hours and 30 minutes long, and it's about a fucking serial killer named Dean Carroll, and he's like
Right.
He's one of America's worst monsters, and I can't believe I've never heard of this guy. This guy is worse than Dahmer. He's worse than Jeffrey Epstein. Like we're talking about the best way that I could put this so you'll understand what type of man he was, we're talking about a guy who would like kidnap two little boys, like, because they were always young boys, you know, because he was a pedo. He would fucking kidnap always two young boys and fucking literally he would like rip their pubes off and like bite their groined area, you know, like the area around the cock, and then sometimes he would mangle the penises, like bite the penises off, like mangle chunks of it off. He would shove glass rods into their dick holes, and
God
and then
damn.
he would shatter the rods while they're in their penises, and they couldn't scream
Is
because they
this
were
nigga white?
yeah, dude. And the children couldn't scream because they were being choked out. And then he would fucking shove shit up their asses too. And then he would kill them, bro. And we're talking about like at least 40, 50 bodies. At
So
least.
did anybody ever like study that nigga to see why he did that?
Dude, that's the. Well, I'm getting up to that. But as of right now in the case, I'm only an hour and 40 minutes in, dude. And so far, this guy has been doing this shit for like at least 10 years. And he's already up to like his fucking 30th body. And every single time it's reported to the cops, they just say that they're runaway teens. Like, bro, what? What? You have 40 fucking casually just runaway teens and you're not gonna look into that, my boy? What? It's just too much paperwork for you? Like, bro, what the fuck, dude? Get off your ass, stop eating fucking donuts, and go fucking do something, bro. What
And
the
they'll be like, wait, that's not a
bro?
good deal. It's like, oh, yes,
He
it
said,
Dude,
is.
I don't wanna.
oh man, there was one part where this guy and he hangs them up, dude. Like it's not like he just tortures them. He literally like hangs them up from like they're like, you know, like lights hanging from a ceiling. He literally
Wait,
like
the dicks?
you know, like the bodies, like the victims who he's
Oh,
torturing them, he literally like
fucking
hangs them
goddamn.
up. Yeah, dude. And fucking he was worse than Jeffrey Epstein because he had some kid bring him other kids and he would pay him fucking 200. Oh man, and like fucking there was this one group of there was like this one set of two boys who he tortured and he fucking made them literally while they were hanging from the ceiling, he made them beat the shit out of each other and he told them that literally on some Zabuza shit. He literally told them, "Yeah, bro, whoever survives, you get to be released and go home." And then they would like literally beat the shit out of each other until they would lose consciousness, and then after this guy would rape them and molest them and then kill them. Like what the bro? Like oh
And
man,
what time period was this?
Because the other option is
1970s.
death. And then you'd
God
be like, cool,
damn.
Like
finger him,
Jesus
finger
So
him. You spend the rest of your
Christ,
1970s,
life
80s,
dude.
and
getting bullied
60s
in
were
prison.
crazy
And
ass
then
Yeah,
times.
dude. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that would not happen nowadays, bro. Within 2 or 3 kids, I want to say this guy's gone, bro. Like you're gone. Like, bro, right now in NYC chat, I don't know if you guys have seen this video because it's viral. It literally just happened 5 hours ago. Some black guy was literally crucified to a light post in New York City. I think it was in the Bronx. They literally fucking duct tied him to a traffic light because he was a predator. Like he fucking was touching little girls, and every civilian that walked by in the video, they wouldn't like he was like begging for people to like let him down and shit. He was like, help, help, and people were just like, no, dude, maybe you should stop touching fucking little girls. Nobody helped
Nigga,
him,
they could
dude.
have did him worse.
Yeah,
They
that's
could have
what
set him on fire.
that's what the comments were. They were like, this is the best non-violent punishment he could have gotten, bro. Because if this was anywhere else, he would have died, bro. You would have died. They would have fucking castrated you, shoved a metal rod up your ass, and fucking literally hung you up in the middle of the street like a pinata. You're like, bro, what is wrong with you, bro? You're touching little kids. Like you're finding little children, like, bro, just like, oh man, bro. I literally almost crashed twice today, dude. Just
Nah, you
fucking,
didn't
dude, dead ass, bro. Like when I was with my girl, like the whole day I was kind of just silent, dude, cause like, bro, and like last night I didn't even want to fucking like do nothing with her, cause I was just so like, bro, like people like this monster, like this guy's human, like this guy's really like this guy was really human. Like his brain really thought like this. Like this is insanity to me, dude. Like just like I'm stuck on the part where you're ripping these little boys' pubes off and just nibbling on their crotches, bro. Like what the dude, that's some like bro. And apparently he would do this naked, dude. He would just do this butt booty naked. Like bro, what the fuck, dude? And the kid who would bring him all the fucking kids, he saw him do this a couple of times. That's how we know how that he'd do this. And you're just okay with like, bro, what the fuck? Some white people shit, cuz. Like literally, bro. Like what in the fucking shit?
Killing spree.
Oh my
On the afternoon
dude.
of June the 4th, 43-year-old widower James Lawrence was getting ready for his evening shift in the mailroom at the Houston Post when his 15-year-old son Billy asked if he could be given a ride to the corner of 31st and Yale Street. Billy Lawrence was a friend of Wayne Henley, who sometimes sold him pot. When James Lawrence caught his son smoking it in his bedroom,
Like that shit literally just doesn't calculate in my brain, dude. Like, okay, fine, whatever. I get being gay. But bro, so you're telling me you like micro penis? You like small peni, dude? Like you like little dick because apparently this guy would never want to get his dick sucked. He would only want to do the dick sucking. Like bro,
Hey,
what? Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Like you are sitting here and you're telling me that this man liked little penises in his mouth, bro. Like what? Non-functioning peni in your mouth, like bro. Oh, damn,
this
dude,
nigga is this nigga is
like,
dumbfounded,
bro,
really though.
bro, you know that feeling you get in your stomach when you're like driving really fast on the highway and like you kind of like hit a hill and your stomach kind of drops, dude. That's what I'm feeling right now, bro. Like, yeah.
Man,
Like,
I learned
bro.
about so many serial killers through podcasts, bro. You just gotta keep going. Them niggas is crazy.
Yeah, dude, that's why I was so fucked up today, dude. I almost crashed 3 times. Like, I was just really like debating, like, dude, do I want to finish this? Do I really want to finish this case, dude, and like solve this mystery and shit, even though it's been solved? But like, I have to, dude. I have to. These
It's,
fucking these boys, dude. They didn't deserve to get done like that. So it's at least the right thing that I could do is spread the word of this fucking piece of shit, so everybody knows what this piece of shit did.
he slapped the boy and dragged
I'm
him
not even.
by
I'm not even gonna give him the satisfaction of using his name. Unless he wanted to hide all the shit, then I will use his name because it's
his
fucking
long hair into the bathroom and made the lad flush it down the
golly,
toilet.
bro.
I'll be like,
I
give that
mean,
to
it's good
me.
to
I'm gonna
educate
take
your
it and
public on
flush
it.
it down.
It happened. It's part of history, nigga.
Like this guy,
Educate them.
like this guy would apparently use like lime juice and shit to speed up the decaying process, and like, bro, this guy like, oh,
Down my
I
toilet.
like, bro, like this shit is crazy, dude. Like, I guess what they say is true, and nothing is nothing is impossible in this world, dude. Like, you think you've seen it all, you know? Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh man, this guy was jacking off in front of like a fucking like the public at a fucking fair, at a fucking town fair. Oh no, this guy's evil. Yeah, blah blah blah. He was eating people. And then you know you get Jeffrey Epstein next. Oh dude, this guy's a fucking sick freak. And then now, bro, I'm learning about this guy. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, bro, I never thought somebody can make Jeffrey Epstein look like fucking a normal man, or like, you know, at least fucking not so evil compared to fuck. Like, he's still evil. Don't get me wrong. But dude, this is Dark Knight's Metal. One who predators fucking mode. Like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, this is holy shit, dude. Fuck. Like I didn't really get to rant last night, chat, because I was so tired, and my brain,
game's on your
honestly,
phone.
like I was just so high that I wasn't processing this correctly. But bro, this is crazy. Like honestly, dude, I don't want to know what's worse than this, dude. Like this is crazy. This is literally some Silence of the Lamb shit. Would you fuck me? I fuck me. Like, what the fuck, bro? This is some crazy shit, dude. Like, I don't even, like, bro, I don't even know what the fuck to say, man. Like, dude, Chad, I'm actually, like, fucking flabbergasted.
My boy, it's funny.
I know fucking, you know, most people fucking usually be pausing shit, you know, to, like, add context to it. But nah, dude, this is actually, like, bro, like, holy crap, dude. This is actually gross, dude. Like, and I can only imagine how the inmates felt, because apparently when the inmates were digging, when they found out about all these bodies, because they didn't find out about this shit, you know, when it happened. They found out about this like years later, apparently. So when they found the bodies and shit, dude, apparently the because they at the time they were able to use inmates as like free labor or whatever, basically as slaves. So they would like
Word.
they literally picked up a couple of inmates from the local jail to use them for like, you know, to excavate the fucking site to see if they could find anything until eventually, you know, they stumbled on the bodies. And apparently the officer that was one of the officers that was there in the room watching over them said that as soon as they found one of the bodies and the smell protruded from the soil, the first one of the inmates literally bolted out of the fucking room so fast, like he bolted out of the storage unit so fast that the officer didn't even stop him. Like he just instantly knew, bro. And honestly, I don't blame that guy either. I'm not stopping him. And the inmate came back and he apologized and shit for running away. And like, bro, dude, I would be like, look, bro, don't even apologize. That shit is nasty, bro. That shit is like, bro. I would have killed myself, honestly, right there on the spot.
Yeah, okay,
Like the fact that humanity is this depraved, dude. I would have just ended it.
Dad. I don't know how I feel about like if I found my kids smoking pot, I'd be like, I don't know, it'd be a bit hypocritical to
Like
be
it's
like,
one
no.
thing, you know, me just telling you this now, but when you're actually hearing the details and reading the report, this shit is fucking sick, dude. Oh man. Yeah, if you're interested, I'll fucking stream it in the Discord.
That nigga's a serial killer.
Yeah, it's up in the Discord if you want to watch it. But like,
Definitely
dude,
not.
this shit is
Not
so
allowed.
nasty,
Although if they were
cuz.
drinking underage and stuff, I don't know. I'd still be like, well, just don't go crazy. Like, I definitely drank underage. It would be a bit hypocritical to be like, naughty, naughty. I mean, it depends on
No,
the
you're
age.
teasing me,
I
naughty,
don't like talking about my kids
naughty.
because this is an episode all about murder. Kids. After that, Billy Lauren seemed to settle down a bit, got a part-time job, purchased a bike, and got a girlfriend, although somewhat weirdly, she was 20 years old. How old is this dude? 15 years old. Dude, that's not somewhat weird. That's very weird. A 20-year-old woman with a 50... If that was the other way around, it wouldn't be somewhat weird. It would be like, what the f***? And I still think it's what the f***. What are you doing as a 20-year-old woman dating a 15-year-old? Don't do that. Then Billy's bike had gotten stolen, necessitating his father to give him lifts here and there. When James dropped off Billy on the corner of 31st and Yale, he said to his son, "I love you. I'll see you in the morning." James frequently told his children that he loved them ever since their mother had died. A few hours later, at 10 p.m., James Lawrence received a phone call at work from his son. Billy asked him if he could go on a fishing trip with, quote, some friends. James assented and told him that he loved him, and Billy replied, "I loved you too." Oh, God.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, there's, like, I don't know, dude. Like, were kids really that just nonchalantly different from back in the day? Because, I remember, Chad, like, I had, like, one friend that was fucking older than me. And, like, he was, like, 3 or 4 years older than me or some shit. Like, I forgot, yeah, like, 3 or 4, there's somewhere between 3 or 4 years older. But this guy's, like, 35, hanging out with 15-year-olds, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're telling me as a 15-year-old you don't feel weird? Like, even I felt weird hanging out with fucking older kids. Like, I felt like I had to be, like, on guard at all moments, dude. Like, I couldn't trust these people.
Man, you twigging. In the hood, I was like fucking 16, hanging out with them old heads, boys, shooting dice. That's where you learn all the terrible shit in life.
James Lawrence.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Me too. But I would be with my friends that were also younger, you know?
Exactly. You all learn something terrible.
Yeah, but these guys were just 15 hanging out alone with the fucking 35-year-old.
No,
Like,
that's different. They're
like,
not posted on the block. They're not shooting dice. They're not even drinking
yeah, that's what I'm
liquor
saying,
from the corner
dude. This
store.
guy is literally just showing up to this kid's house, having dinner with the family, and the family just somehow allows this Nero. And
Wait,
while they're,
hold on.
yeah,
Wait, he popped up to the nigga crib.
yeah, dude. And while they're eating dinner, the family apparently gets uncomfortable because he just like sits there and doesn't say a word, and he just stares at them like ominously until like it's time
What
for
the
like,
fuck?
until dinner's over, and then they go back into his like the kid's room or some shit. Like, bro, what? Like, you guys are just okay with this shit?
43-year-old
Nigga,
widower.
wait, what you
This is
mean the
he's
nigga just
lost his
came?
wife
Like,
and
how the
he's-
fuck did he just get to come over?
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, you gotta watch this shit. Streaming into the Discord. This shit is fucking crazy. Like, this shit is
Now,
actually
But Billy's
white
fishing
people are
buddies turned out to be
crazy.
Wayne
What the
Henley,
fuck?
David
fucking
Brooks, and Jimmy
insane,
Coral.
dude.
Billy Lawrence was taken to 2020 Lamar Drive that night and
Nigga, the
subjected to
parents was
3
tweaking.
days of torture and
He
sexual
was
assault.
tweaking. The
During
kid
the
tweaking.
ordeal,
That
Coral forced
motherfucker
Billy.
tweaking.
Like, bro, bro, if I see a 35-year-old man walking into my house with my kid, dude, and this guy just tries to act like he could just sit down and fucking, eat my food, dude, I'm
Alexa,
getting
what's
up
spicy
from the
about to come down?
table. I'm extending my arms like Yujiro Hanma does when he's about to clap somebody, and I'm fucking ringing this guy's ears, dude. I'm fucking literally ringing this guy out. I'm gonna fucking extend my thumbs out, and I'm gonna fucking stick my thumbs into his fucking ears, and I'm gonna fucking knock this guy out, bro, on some Baki shit. What, bro, what is wrong with you? You're lucky I don't fucking United States of
Nigga,
smash your ass, bro.
nigga, you got a domain expansion, nigga.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Immediately just blitz this guy in some Itadori shit, put my fist in his face, and just fucking put that shit in the ground. Like, bro, bro, what? You really think you're just gonna storm into my house with your dirty ass chacos on, fucking touching my kid, bro? I'll slap the shit out you, cuz. I look, I'll kill you right now, bro.
To write his father a postcard
Dirty
saying he'd
ass
gone to
jackals.
Austin to work a
Like,
job in
motherfuckers have died for much less, bro. Like, what the
Hartford and would be back at the end of August to start school. Then the victim was
fuck
strangled
is this
and
crazy?
buried at Lake Sam Rayburn, approximately 150 miles
Tell
northeast of
me who
Houston.
tryna go.
When James Lawrence received the
Down
postcard on
like
June the
it's
9th, he was
Monday
anxious
on
and called the
Who
police.
tryna-
But, like the police, James assumed his son was being truthful about going to Austin, and he was basically a runaway, and waited for him to return. On July the 2nd, Wayne Henley called James Lawrence and asked if Billy was home in order to gauge the situation. James replied that Billy would be in Austin until the end of August. On the evening of July the 4th, while James Lawrence was doing a night shift, Coral Brooks and Henley broke into his house, stole some guns, cameras, a stereo system, and some family mementos. James Lawrence did not connect the burglary to his son's disappearance at the time. Why the fuck are you stealing those family mementos? I know why, but you shouldn't be doing that. It's like, it makes... I mean, the police are obviously ridiculously beyond incompetent in today's episode, so it's not like they're going to be like, oh, that's weird. But any competent police would be like, why are they stealing these family photos? Maybe that's connected. Maybe there's something weird going on here. I don't know. Dozens of children seem to be going missing. Maybe do something, police. You fucking clowns.
Hello,
the 2nd,
hello.
Henry
Anybody
began
in
driving
there?
lessons at
Hello, you
Coach's
fucking
driving
moron.
school in Bel Air, a town 6
You good,
miles
brother?
from Houston.
Like,
On his
bro, these
first day,
fucking
Henry
cops,
befriended a
dude.
fellow student.
Like this guy, one of the kids' houses who, like, he just abducted and killed them. He went back into, like, that house and basically burglarized them and stole a bunch of, like, shit and some pictures of the kid, you know, obviously so he could jack off to them and shit. And the cops didn't, you know, put two and two together. They're just like, oh, huh, well, somebody fucking robbed them. Like, dude, you fucking moron. Like, you are actually a moron.
15-year-old Homer Garcia. Man, you can learn
Dumbass.
to drive really young in America.
He said,
He's
Dumas.
learning to drive. He's 15. It's like we can't learn to drive until we're 17
Alexa,
in the UK.
play All
You
I
can't learn
Want
to
by
drive
Chris
until you're
Brown.
18 here in Czech, which is late. Getting your driver's license is like, yes, I can go anywhere I want. God, what a time. The next day, July the 7th, they continued chatting. That night, Homer Garcia called his mother to let her know that he'd be spending the night with some quote-unquote friends. Henley lured Garcia back to 2020 Lamar Drive, where he was tortured and assaulted for several hours before
Damn.
being shot in the head and chest with a .22 caliber pistol. Garcia was placed in the bathtub while Coral and Henley watched him bleed out. He, too, was buried at Lake Sam Rayburn. A mere 5 days later, on July the 12th, John Sellers, age 17, was shot 4 times in the chest with a rifle, bound in a way similar to the other victims, and possibly sexually assaulted before being buried
Oh
at High
man,
Island
here
Beach.
we go.
There is some ambiguity whether Coral, Brooks, and Henley murdered Sellers. None of them directly mentioned killing him, but they did not deny murdering him either. And Henley did later lead police to his grave, which was near 6 other burials at the location. But Sellers was killed with a rifle instead of a .22 caliber pistol, like all the other victims, and he was the only victim to be buried fully clothed. A truck driver later came forward claiming that he had spoken to Henley at High Island Beach on July the 12th, offering to pull out a car that he had assumed belonged to Henley that was stuck in the sand. Henley told the truck driver that he didn't need help as he had 2 friends with
That's
him who would help
crazy.
push the car out. The vehicle matched the description of the one driven by John Sellers, which was later found having been torched in Starks, Louisiana. The 2 prevailing police theories are that 1, Henley, Brooks and Coral had driven Steller's own vehicle out to High Island to bury him, or 2, that Sellers had spotted them at High Island burying an unidentified victim and had been murdered on the spot. Given the fact that Sellers was murdered by a rifle, which Coral could have easily had in his possession, and that he was buried with his clothes still on but with traces of male ejaculate on them, no. The later scenario that Sellers was killed at High Island Beach after catching the trio in the act seems the more likely one. However, it's also distinctly possible that Sellers was buried at High Island by a completely different murderer and was just lumped in with the Candyman murders by sheer proximity
Oh,
to the
yeah.
other bodies.
Yeah, chat. That's the only reason he got away with this, because of the time period. That alone would have been enough to find him, bro. You fucking just mondoed on his pants and then you fucking kill him. You fucking moron. Oh man, dude, this case is so infuriating. Like, bro, how are the cops this fucking stupid? Like, shit, dude. Even the Jack the Ripper cops were more competent than this. Like, fucking golly.
Well, can't they DNA test that? The ejaculate
Yeah, the
and see if
fucking
it belongs to
coon.
one of these 3 psychos. Shortly after the murder of John Sellers,
Oh wait,
18-year-old
so
David
they
Brooks married
could.
his
Yeah, okay, so these cops are just fucking actually like stupid. They flew in from stupid town.
What?
So you're telling me that they were able to fucking test coom samples in 1970s and they didn't? Wow, so okay. Hold on, trying to get some fucking water. It's fucking pissing me off.
his now pregnant girlfriend, Bridget Clark. Oh my god, Bridget. What have you got yourself into? Whom had been seeing since January. The honeymoon removed Brooks from Coral's company for 3 weeks, during which Henley acted as Coral's only accomplice. On July the 19th, 1973, Jane Bolsher, mother of Billy Bolsher, who had disappeared in May 1972, gave Billy's younger brother, 15-year-old Tony Bolsher, some money to go for a haircut. No,
play
the
rap
other
star
kid,
explicit.
Tony headed out on his own. Oh my god, if I was Jane Bolsher and my kid had gone missing, and my how old is he? 15-year-old wanted to go get a haircut. I'll be like literally less than a year later, I'll be like, no shot. I'm coming with you. We're going by car, or I'm sending you with someone.
No
Tony
shot.
headed out on his own and was intercepted by Coral and Henley.
Wait. So let's run this down. Let's analyze this. Let's break down this fucking stupidity. Okay, I'll give her credit. Maybe she wanted to like fucking let her kid, feel like back to normal. But bro, if you are living in an area and your kid just went fucking missing and it's been a year and you haven't got that kid back or figure out what happened to him, and there's also a bunch of fucking cases of other kids that have gone missing, why the fuck do you think it's okay to just let your kid go out and get a haircut alone by himself? Bro, what? No shot, dude. Like, what? Like, bro, what? No, dude. You don't do that, dude. The only time you do that is if you move away and you get the fuck away from here and, you start over. Or if this guy got caught. Or whatever fucking you find out what happened. And then you could, fucking start over and fucking try to be normal. Not fucking while shit is unsolved and you don't know if this thing or entity or the reason that this disappearance happened is still out there. Like, what? Like, bro, what?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Knew both of them, just like his brother had done, and frequently hung out at Coral's places of residence over the years. As such, Tony was easily lured by Coral and Henley to 2020 Lamar Drive, where he was tortured, sodomized, and strangled to death.
Of course
he was buried at Lake Sam Rayburn. How have we never heard of this? How is this guy not as famous as Bundy or Gacy? Because this is just beyond this. The boy's father, Billy Jean Balcher Sr., reported Tony missing, but the boy was immediately classed as a runaway, just like his brother.
You fool! You fool! You blasted fool! You've damned us all! You've damned us all!
Their children had disappeared without a trace in just 14 months, and the police would do nothing.
Yo, nah, bro. Dude, if I was actually one of the cops, like, showing up to the report, and I heard my fellow officer again reported as another runaway, I would have slapped that shit out of his hand, and I would have just been like, you fool! You blasted fool! You've done this all! I hate it! I bloody hate it! Like, bro,
Tony's
what?
remains were not identified until 2010. So
I would have been like, fuck off, mate. Fuck off, yeah? No. Fuck off, yeah? Fuck off, Don.
Bro,
like, nah, dude, I'm fucking not alright, Don.
Body was. Tragically, a year later, in 2011, the remains were thought to be Billy Boucher.
Fucking over here, fucking letting this Donny fucking run wild. You fucking wanker. You fucking wank.
His name were proven to be those of
taking a piss, bro.
The Boucher family had gone decades in knowing where Tony's body was, and soon after finding him, they discovered that it was in fact Billy's remains that had never been found. On July the 25th, 1973, Coral and Henley struck again. Charles Cobble, aged 17, a high school dropout with some kind of undiagnosed anxiety disorder and a budding drug addiction. Cobble had gotten married a few months earlier, in March, to a 15-year-old girl named Deborah. Getting married at 15, what are you up to? Imagine myself at 15. I was an idiot. He worked part-time as a waitress. Cobble had gotten her pregnant. The couple moved into the Ben-Hur apartments across the street from Wayne Henley and was later joined there by Cobble's parents and sister. The family occupied a row of 4 apartments on the second floor overlooking the pool. At the beginning of July, Deborah left, citing Charles's drug addiction and emotional volatility. Cobble sought solace with his best friend, 18-year-old Marty Jones, an outgoing lad who was the perfect antidote to Cobble's anxious, shy and retiring nature. But Jones was also a delinquent and a drug dealer who frequently dipped into his own supply and who had gotten hooked on barbiturates, speed, pot, and possibly heroin and cocaine. Oh my god. Dipping into his own supply. And he's not like, oh, what's the deal? Everything. He was also known as a burn artist, where he'd take people's money for drugs but never deliver, or else would return something of extremely low quality. How long are you going to be able to work as a drug dealer? No one's ever going to trust you.
Yeah,
Jones actually stayed with the Cobble family back in 1972, but his erratic and aggressive behavior eventually got him thrown out. But due to Deborah's leaving, Jones was suddenly
like, what the fuck? How does that work? Like, dude, this guy's just selling like oregano, and motherfucker thinks he's getting high. Like, whoa. he comes back for more. He's just like, yeah, dude, that shit was fire. Like, what? Like, bro, what are you talking about? You're telling me you get high off of that and you come back for more, bro? You got high off oregano? Like, I don't even
At 10
know.
p.m. on July the 25th, Cobble and Jones were seen walking near the Ben-Hur apartments in the company of Wayne Henley. But something seemed off. They were walking in single file along 27th Street, with Cobble out in front, Jones in the middle, and Henley bringing up the rear. Multiple witnesses said Cobble looked
Alexa,
distressed, but neither
play I
Cobble
Love
nor
It by
Jones
Kanye
dared
West.
speak to them, and Henley seemed vaguely hostile. Indeed, Wayne Henley had a concealed gun and was marching Cobble and Jones under threat of death towards a vehicle where Coral was waiting.
Smoking weed
They
with
were
my
taken to
best
2020 Lamar
friend.
Drive and tortured all night. The next morning at 9:50 a.m., the phone rang at the Ben-Hur apartments. Charles Cobble's sister, Emily, picked up. It was Charles. He asked to speak to Vern Cobble, their father. Vern was handed the receiver. "Daddy, I'm in serious trouble," Charles said in a panicked voice. "What is it?" Vern asked. "Is Marty with you?" "He's here. There's some people who think we've done something to them. I have to have $1,000. "I don't have that kind of money," Vern said, "but I'll just have to figure out how to raise it." "Well, if you can't do it yourself, maybe talk to Mr. Rogers. Maybe he can help." This was bizarre because Vern didn't know anybody by their name. It may well have just been a reference to the TV children's entertainer that a disdainful Coral or Henley forced Charles to say. Then there were some voices in the background that Vern couldn't make out, and Charles came back on the line suddenly sounding deflated, like he'd given up hope. "Well, I'll tell you later where you have to have the money." And Charles hung up. That's a very weird
Huh?
call. So it seems like he's been. Does his dad think he's been kidnapped? It's a pretty sloppy way to try and
what the
extort
fuck?
someone for money. Extort? What's it called when you kidnap someone? I guess extort. Vern immediately called the police and was offered a patrol car to come round. He refused and demanded to speak to an investigator. A homicide officer eventually came on the line and told Vern that there was nothing he could do because no actual crime had been committed. If someone else had phoned Vern and said he was holding their son, then the police could act. As it was, the officer
I
speculated
started
perhaps
feeling
Charles Cobble
kind
was
of
just trying to
sick,
scam some money and
sick
run away to
fuck, I'm
California.
inappropriate.
Vern
I
was
like
put through to
new
missing
stories. I
persons who
like
told
that
him,
whole
quote,
shit.
"We don't look for missing people. We take the information, and if we come across them, we let you know." Not good. Vern hung up and went to the bank, took out the $200 he had in his account, and got a loan for a further $800 to make up the full $1,000, which is roughly $7,000 in today's money. Then the Cobble family waited anxiously by the phone. Days passed. No one ever called. By the third day, the Cobble family came to the conclusion that Charles and Marty were probably dead. Indeed, the ransom call was just a smokescreen to a ransom, not a extortion. Ransom.
The
Thank you.
ransom.
Was just a smokescreen to throw off the Cobble family once Charles and Marty had disappeared and to make them think that the two young men had been killed by some of Marty's disgruntled drug associates. He was a burn artist, after all. Coral and Henley had no interest in collecting the money. Instead, shortly after Charles Cobble hung up the phone on the morning of July the 26th, the torture and sexual assault began anew. Coral and Henley tied Marty Jones to a chair and forced him to watch as they went to work on Charles Cobble, knowing full well he would be next. After a few hours, they shot Cobble twice in the head. Then Jones was tortured and assaulted for several hours, whereupon Henley decided that he wanted to strangle Jones to death. After half an hour of throttling the victim, Henley wasn't able to kill him, so Coral stepped in and did it himself. That evening, Henley took the bodies of Cobble and Jones to the boat shed and buried them. The same day, Dean Coral phoned his mother, Mary, who was still living in Colorado. He told her that he needed to get out of Houston and start a new life somewhere. Mary assumed he'd run up some debts and wanted to escape his creditors. She told
Play
Coral
got
to
a
come and
lot
stay with
about
her in
2
Colorado. Around the same time, Wayne Henley started talking to his friends about moving to Australia and becoming a homesteader, saying that rural Australia is a lot like the Wild West. David Brooks, meanwhile, had a wife and child on the way and began rationing his time with Coral. Although the police weren't anywhere near to investigating the slew of disappearances, much less suspecting any of them of murder, the trio were getting jumpy and wanted to part ways, moving on to the next phase of their lives. For Coral, this probably meant exporting his particular brand of terror to Colorado. Is more debatable.
Yeah, Chad, if I ever fucking get accused of running away or just fucking disappearing, no I didn't.
Would have felt the urge to torture and kill once Coral had left. On Friday, August the 3rd, 1973, 13-year-old James Dramala spent the day collecting empty bottles to sell at a local convenience store in Pasadena to scrounge together enough change to take his girlfriend to the new James Bond film on Sunday. By the early evening, Dramala had told his mother that he wanted to ride down to the convenience store to collect his money. Elaine Dramala told him that she didn't want him riding his bike around the neighborhood after dark. James assured her that he'd only be gone a few minutes. His parents last saw him riding his yellow bike down the street. This is the sort of thing, it's like now, because I do this show, like before, I'd be like, yeah, of course you can pop to the store, no worries. Now I'm like, you're not going anywhere. And I know statistically it's really unlikely, but it's also, it's like one of those things where it's like the chance is very low, but the potential harm is enormously high. Just outside the convenience store, James drove past Dean Corll and David Brooks, who were sitting in Corll's white van. They talked to Dramala and told him they had a few empty bottles in the back of the van that he could have for free, just so they could get rid of them. Corll gave Dramala the bottles, and the 13-year-old headed into the convenience store and sold his collection. Coming out again, Dramala approached the white van to thank Corll and Brooks. It was then that they told Dramala that they had an even larger collection of bottles back at their house at 2020 Lamar Drive, which he could have. They loaded Dramala's bike into the back of the van, and they all drove off together. After arriving at 2020 Lamar Drive, Brooks and Corll gave James Dramala some pizza, and they chatted with the boy for roughly 45 minutes. Then James phoned his father and told him he'd invited to a party at a nearby house in Pasadena and asked if he could stay. His father told him sternly no and to be back home in 20 minutes before hanging up the phone.
God.
But James Dramala wasn't permitted to leave. He was manacled to the torture board for the next several hours. According to Brooks, this time the nature of the torture was so gruesome and severe that Dean Corll wore a leather apron to protect his clothes from blood spatter. Then Dramala was strangled with a cord and buried in the boat shed. His yellow bike left leaning against the shed wall. The Twist, Part 2.
Jesus Christ.
In the 2 months between June the 4th and August the 3rd, 1973, Dean Corll, Wayne Henley, and David Brooks had murdered 8 victims, averaging 1 a week. Previously, it had been 1 a month. Things were escalating, and Corll knew that he couldn't keep a lid on his activities for much longer. Things were bound to...
Dude, how the fuck do these guys just have money? Like, how do they just have the time to fucking kill all these people and fucking, like, bro, like, we're talking about hours. Like, how does this guy just fucking go to work and fucking do this shit and not sleep? Like, bro, what? Like bro, what? Who's giving him money just to fucking kill these people? Like, bro.
Spin out of control and attract the attention of the police sooner or later. Dean seems to be overestimating the police's capacity for doing anything. On August 5th, Dean Corll's mother, Mary, phoned her son and asked where he'd been all day. Corll replied that he'd been ducking someone's calls. Mary inquired when he was going to come and see her in Colorado. Dean replied that he'd be there on the 1st of September. Mary asked if Corll was going to bring Betty, the single mother whom Corll had dated a few years back and with whom he was still having monthly catch-ups. Mary, who was still in firm denial about her son's homosexuality, attached far too much significance to Dean's relationship with Betty, despite the fact that they'd broken up several years ago. Corll replied, "I don't think so, with 2 little boys and all." Mary then asked, "Are you going to tell your dad you're leaving Houston?" "I'll tell him," Corll replied and hung up the phone. This is the last time that Mary ever spoke to him. 2 days later, on the evening of August the 7th, 1973, Wayne Henley lured 19-year-old Timothy Curley, one of the many boys whom Corll had kept in his orbit the past few years, to 2020 Lamar Drive. Once they arrived, Curley, Henley, and Corll drank beer and huffed paint fumes. Okay.
Ew, what the fuck?
David
Who's
Brooks
huffing
was not
paint
there that
fumes,
night.
dude?
He was home
What?
with his wife. Around 12 a.m., Curley announced that he was hungry and wanted to head out to get some food. Curley was not yet intoxicated enough to be easily manacled to the torture board, and Corll and Henley preferred not to risk a violent confrontation with a 19-year-old if they didn't have to, during which a relatively strong victim might escape, injure one of them, or be prematurely killed in the struggle. And so, Henley and Curley departed, telling a frustrated Corll they'd be right back. They drove in Curley's Volkswagen to Henley's house, where they planned to grab some food.
What the
Parking nearby,
fuck,
they heard
man?
some noise coming from down the street, from the house of Rhonda Williams. Rhonda was 15 years old. The previous year, she had dated 18-year-old Frank Aguirre before he had disappeared on the way to her house after his shift at Long John Silver's in March 1972.
Long John
Rhonda was extremely
Silver's.
distressed by Frank's disappearance, and a year later she was still given to periodic spasms of despondency. Both Rhonda and Frank had been friendly with Wayne Henley. In fact, back in March 1972,
Alexis,
Henley had begged Corll
play
not to murder
candy
Frank
paint.
Aguirre. Since then, Henley had felt a little protective of Rhonda Williams, occasionally telling her that Frank was probably not coming back, leading her to suspect that Henley knew something about Frank's disappearance. Henley, that is very close to talking about your crimes. Henley and Curley found Rhonda alone at her house, being comforted by a friend, Ricky Wilson. Earlier that evening, Rhonda had gotten into an argument with her allegedly alcoholic father, Ben Williams, and he had allegedly beaten her. To top it off, she had recently sprained her ankle while goofing around with her friends on the hood of Ricky Wilson's car. Rhonda was miserable. She vowed to run away and was trying to figure out where she could go. Henley, half cut on beer and paint fumes, offered to bring Rhonda with him and Curly back to Dean Corral's house. Rhonda agreed. Thereupon, Henley went into his own house, woke up his mother, and told her that he was going to spend the night with a friend, Timothy Curly. Henley grabbed some food from the fridge, and he, Curly, and Rhonda took off in the Volkswagen. With both Henley and Curly being fairly intoxicated, a party atmosphere prevailed in the vehicle. They drove around Houston for the better part of an hour, only returning to 2020 Lamar Drive at around 3 a.m. on August the 8th, where an impatient Dean Corral awaited them. When Corral saw that Henley had brought a girl back alongside Curly, his intended victim for the night, he became angry. Corral muttered to Henley that it ruined everything. An intoxicated Henley explained that Rhonda Williams had fought with her father and didn't want to go home. Thereupon, Corral's mood seemed to change. He calmly offered Henley, Curly, and Williams some beer and pot. On top of this, Henley and Curly began huffing paint fumes again. Corral did not partake in anything. He just sat there, staring at them. By approximately 5 in the morning, Henley, Curly, and Williams had all passed out. Corral got up, used a knife to strip Timothy Curly naked, and proceeded to bind his hands and feet. He then bound the hands and feet of Wayne Henley and Rhonda Williams without disrobing them. Corral gagged his 3 potential victims and wrapped several layers of tape around their mouths. All 3 teenagers lay there, trussed up and still unconscious on the living room floor. Corral went off to the bedroom and laid down some plastic sheeting before returning and waiting for his victims to wake up so that he could maximize his pleasure in torturing them.
What the
Well past
fuck?
daybreak, Wayne Henley was the first to regain consciousness. Corral noticed and removed the tape and gag from Henley's mouth. The 17-year-old immediately begged Corral not to kill him. Corral replied, quote, "Man, you blew it bringing that girl. But I'm going to fix you now. I'm going to kill you all. But first, I'm going to have my fun." Corral walked over to Rhonda Williams and kicked
You
her
hear this
repeatedly
guy?
in the chest.
He said, "Man, you blew it by bringing that girl, cause I'm a fucking gay wad, so now I gotta fucking kill you, bro." What? 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 Like, what are you talking about, dude?
stomach, saying, "Wake up, bitch." Rhonda briefly regains consciousness, only to see Corral drag Henley to his feet, shove a .22 caliber pistol in his gut, and haul the boy into the kitchen before she passed out again. In the kitchen for the next 30 minutes, Wayne Henley begged for his life. He reminded Corral of their friendship, which had now spanned 3 years, and how he had loyally assisted him with so many of the murders.
3 years
without compensation,
murder.
because, indeed, after the first one, Corral hadn't paid Henley for any of the victims that he'd lured to Corral's place. Then Henley said if Corral would let him go, he'd help torture and kill Timothy Curly and Rhonda Williams, shouting, quote, "I'll do anything you want me to, Dean. Anything." Corral was convinced. Oh my, this is all unraveling for you, Corral. He undid the bindings on Henley's arms and feet and cut loose what remained of the tape around his face. They returned to the living room, where Rhonda and Timothy lay still unconscious on the floor. Corral said that he was going to torture and sexually assault Timothy, while Henley was expected to do the same to Rhonda. The 15-year-old girl regained consciousness to see Henley standing over her and Corral behind him with a .22 caliber pistol in his hand. Then Corral proceeded to drag Timothy Curly by his feet into the bedroom. Curly regained consciousness, and his muffled screams could be heard through his gag. Henley huffed some paint fumes to numb himself to the situation, then knelt down and whispered to Rhonda, "Everything's going to be all right." Then Henley proceeded to drag Rhonda into the bedroom. She noticed plastic sheeting on the floor. Henley and Corral manacled the 2 victims at opposite ends of the torture board, with Curly facing downward and Rhonda facing up. Corral handed Henley a knife and ordered him to cut away Rhonda's clothing. Corral turned to Curly and said, "Don't you worry, boy. I'm just going to take a look up your anus. Cause you some trouble."
Hey, yo! My boy said, "Don't worry, boy. I'm just gonna take a look up your anus and cause you some trouble." Yo, what? Yo, what? Yo, what? Dude, if bro. Nah, if I was that kid, bro, I don't even care if I'm gagged up. I would be like, "Hey, yo, this man is gay." Like, I'm not. It's,
Nah, wait, why was that not the first thing these niggas was thinking? Like, yo, this nigga really gay. Like,
yeah, this man is gay, bro. Like, I'm not insulting you or nothing. Like, I know about you're about to kill me and fucking violate me,
nah, I'm
but like,
insulting you.
like
That's
I,
crazy.
I fucking, I'm just making an astute observation. Like, you's gay.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
nah, they got
Henley
this homo
deliberately took
thug
his
nigga
time
over
cutting
here.
away Rhonda's clothes while Coral laid the
You gotta
pistol
tell
down
it
on the
like it is.
table and
I'd
started
be
to
like,
strip
yo, my
himself
nigga, you
naked.
gay.
Coral then climbed on top of Curly and began to
I'd be like,
forcibly
Riley up the
sodomize him.
boondocks. Like, all
Henley
this
took the
shit you
knife and
doing,
cut away
nigga,
the tape
you
around
gay.
Rhonda's face and removed her
Gay
gag.
as fuck.
Half dazed, she asked, "Is this for
Talking
real?"
about can a nigga get
Yes.
a French fry?
So is this for real?
Gay
To which
ass nigga.
Rhonda responded with a question that weighed a metric ton. Are you going to do something about it? Years later, Wayne Henley said at that moment he was hit with a massive wave of remorse. Quote, her boyfriend had been killed. Dean was trying to kill her. Her friend, whom she trusted implicitly, turned out to be a monster. So who's the victim? The belief that she trusted me is what gave me the push I needed to do something. Henley asked Coral, can I take Rhonda into the other room? She doesn't need to see all this. Coral, in the middle of sexually assaulting Curly, ignored him. Henley grabbed the .22 caliber pistol from the bedside table, pointed it at Coral and shouted, this has gone far enough, Dean. Coral looked over, spotted the gun, and began clambering off of Curly. Henley shouted, I can't let this go any longer. I can't let you kill all of my friends. Coral began to walk toward Henley. Kill me, Wayne, he said simply. Henley backed away a few paces and did not pull the trigger. Coral continued toward him. He sneered and said, you won't do it. Wayne Henley pulled the trigger and shot Dean Coral square in the forehead. But the small .22 caliber bullet did not pierce all the way through Coral's skull into his brain. It merely stunned him. Coral continued to move toward Henley. The teenage boy fired again twice. He hit Coral once in the shoulder and once in the chest, with the bullet piercing his left lung. Coral staggered past Henley out of the room and slammed into the wall in the hallway. Henley fired 3 more shots at Coral, hitting the naked man once more in the shoulder, twice in the lower back, rupturing his guts. Coral slumped to the floor, turned his face to the wall, bled out, and died. Fucking finally. Now, I'm sorry, Wayne, but you also need to be killed.
Though, yeah, like the only way that this would have had an actual satisfying tale is if you took that gun right after, put it in your fucking mouth, and pulled the trigger. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, bro, what? Now? Now that you're literally in the middle of raping your so-called friend, that she literally looks up to you and says, is this for real? Like, you literally helped kill her boyfriend. You helped kill her friends, which are your friends. And it took this girl on some fucking Attack on Titan shit looking at you and being like, is this for real? Are you really doing this? Like, are you going to do anything to stop it? Are you going to do anything about it? It took that for you to realize that you're a fucking monster that just helped the devil, like, sodomize 50 boys and fucking, like, kill them or however many. Like, bro, what? Like, you kill, like, bro, you killing this man and fucking pulling the trigger on him finally does not absolve you of anything. Like, you need to kill yourself too, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, you don't deserve to
So
be
wait,
alive.
she helped the nigga.
So basically, the last time that this guy assaulted anybody, it was okay. So the guy who's the monster Dean, he had an accomplice, and that accomplice, like fucking most of the victims were like his friends and shit, and he fucked up by bringing a girl there. So the murderer guy got pissed off obviously because he's fucking a gay boy. So he fucking ended up hog tying all of them, even the accomplice, and he was ready to kill the accomplice, but the guy was like, "No, dude, don't kill me. I'll fucking suck your dick. I'll do whatever you want." And
What?
he literally did. He literally like listened to him, and he didn't kill him. He like untied him, and he was like, he basically told him that he had to like rape and kill the girl while he rapes and kills the guy. And fucking while he was getting naked and shit and fucking literally sodomizing the boy, the girl says exactly what I just said, where she's like, "Is this for real? Are you really doing this? Like, you're not gonna do anything about this? You're just gonna let him fucking, kill my boyfriend, kill our friends, and now you're gonna do this to me too? Like, are you serious?" And then in that moment, that's what made him realize, like, damn, dude, did I really just do all this shit? And then he started to feel remorse. So he looks at the murderer guy, Dean, and he's like, hey, she doesn't need to see this. I'm going to take her to the other room. But this guy's like literally on some fucking depraved, perverted shit that he's basically too busy raping that he fucking doesn't realize that the guy, that the accomplice picked up the gun and is now like pointing it at him. And then he gets up and he's like, you fucking won't do it. And he literally pulls the trigger and he shoots him in the fucking head, but the bullet doesn't pierce his skull all the way, so he's still somehow not dead. And he's like charging at him, and then that's when he pulls the trigger 2 more times, and he shoots him 1 time in the shoulder and 1 time in the chest or some shit, and it pierces his lungs. And then he fucking falls, hits the wall, and like ruptures his insides or some shit, and he bleeds out. Like, what, bro? That's not enough. Like, first of all, this guy should have went to jail and got raped himself, so he knows what it's fucking like. And then he should have been done in just like Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I don't care if I sound gruesome right now. Obviously, I don't condone this shit, but to these people, dude, to these fucking monsters, I do. I don't care. I don't care if obviously revenge isn't the way, dude. But there are certain situations where revenge doesn't even cover it, dude. Revenge doesn't, like, bro, what? This guy needs to have been tortured in jail. This guy needs to have dropped the soap in jail, bro. So he probably would have enjoyed it too. He should have fucking been, this guy should have been Jeffrey Dahmer, bro. He should have fucking literally had some guy in jail beat the shit out of him and fucking do him in the same way he did these victims. And that kid that helped him, dude, I'm sorry, dude. I don't care if you were groomed. At the end of the day, your actions are your own, and you had multiple chances to do some shit about this, and you didn't, bro. You helped this guy, and he only paid you 1 time, so you were literally doing this for free because you liked it, because you wanted to do it and help this guy, because you weren't getting anything out of this. You had, this guy treated you like a friend, like you were able to just go home, you know, you were chilling with him, you had freedom. It's not like he hogtied you, like, bro, nah, bro. The only way that this story ends satisfying for me is if that accomplice guy is either in jail or puts a bullet in his own head, dude. Like this, like
What the fuck is this episode?
I don't care if I sounded ghoulish right now, chat. Like, no, that shit pissed me off. Like that shit is not justice, dude. This guy just escaped justice. Like,
The
what?
aftermath. Henley's
so
immediate
pissed.
reaction after killing Dean Corll was to feel pride. He thought perversely that Corll would have been proud of him for acting so decisively in that situation. Then Henley freed Rhonda and Timothy from the torture board. Both Henley and Timothy burst into tears. Timothy repeatedly thanked Henley for saving his life. Rhonda sat on the bedroom floor for several minutes, still in shock. Then she got up, saw Corll's body in the hallway, and began to scream. Henley came over and calmed her down. Rhonda and Timothy got dressed in the tattered remains of their clothes, while the 3 teenagers discussed what to do next. Henley wanted to let Corll's body just be discovered. Timothy Curley, unaware of the scope of Henley's complicity in Corll's crimes, reasoned that the whole thing happened in self-defense, and that they should call the cops. Henley, dazed and half intoxicated, agreed. I mean, because Corll's dead, Henley has... There's not a lot tying him to this stuff, is there? He seems like there could be an exit path for him here. But I don't think there is, because obviously we're getting all of this information from someone, and I get the feeling it's Henley testifying like mad in order for a reduced sentence. At 8:24 a.m., Wayne Henley phoned the police and said, "You better come here right now. I just killed a man. Address is 2020 Lamar." The 3 teenagers waited outside on the porch for the cops to come. Henley placed the pistol on the driveway away from him. As he sat there, Henley considered going on the run, but dismissed the idea. Then he turned to Curley and said, "You know, if you wasn't my friend, I could have $200 for you." At the time, Curley didn't understand the meaning of the statement.
Dude, the audacity for you to fucking say that fully well no, bro, what? While they're waiting for the cops, this guy looks at the girl that like literally made him realize that he's a piece of shit, and he has the balls to look at her and say, "You know, if I wasn't your friend, you would have been $200. Bro, what are you talking about? You fucking pedo. No, you wouldn't have. This guy hasn't paid you in 3 fucking years. You only made $100, you broke boy McGee. How about you fucking get a real job instead of fucking hanging out with a fucking predator, you fucking hermaphrodite. Like, actually, oh, dude. Like, dude, actually, fuck you, dude. Fuck off. Like, actually, fuck you. What? Like, bro, you almost just fucking killed me, and you're gonna say that you're my friend? Yo, dude. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Oh, that actually just angered me so much, bro. Like,
Police arrived, and Henley told them that the body was inside the house. They got Henley, Curley, and Williams into the patrol car and confiscated the pistol that was still in the driveway. Then one of the cops stepped inside the house and saw the body of Dean Corll lying face down, his nose pressed against the baseboard, his body covered in blood and smears of it along the wall. The cop went into the bedroom and saw the torture board and the plastic sheeting. Scanning the rest of the house, the officer spotted various weapons, nylon cords, handcuffs, glass rods, and a 17-inch dildo. Coming outside again.
this guy just had glass rods and a 17-inch dildo. Oh, my God.
Confirms that
fuck.
Henley was the one who pulled the trigger on Corll. Believing that Henley had acted in self-defense, rescuing his two friends, the officer nevertheless had to arrest Henley. Well, the officer read him his Miranda rights. Henley shouted, "I don't care who knows it. I have to get it off my chest." All three teenagers were taken down to the station for questioning. For decades, Rhonda Williams has felt grateful to Wayne Henley for saving her life. Timothy Curley, on the other hand, was shocked when he found out Henley's role in Corll's crimes, including luring Curley to 2020 Lamar Drive to be tortured and killed in the first place. In 2009, he said, "If I ever met Wayne again, I don't know if I would shake his hand and say thank you, or beat the shit out of him. I would definitely say the
Dude, what? That's not even a question, dude. What are you talking about? If I ever ran into this guy in the street again, and this guy even had the balls to even look my way, dude, I'm killing you. I'm actually killing you, bro. Like, what, dude? You're gonna fucking roofie me and almost kill me and rape me and attempt to sodomize me? And then, just because you fucking, have a moment of clarity where a victim that you're about to fucking rape yourself is literally telling you, hey, dude, like, what the fuck are you doing? And now you think you're like a hero or some shit, dude? Fuck off, dude. You're lucky I don't kill you myself. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what, you needed roofies to take me on, dude? How about fucking I'll fuck you up right now, dude? No roof. See if you can handle that, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Oh, bro, oh man, dude, I would literally Yujiro Hanma this motherfucker, dude. Literally fucking punch his jaw right off, dude. Oh man, put his fucking face on a curb and stomp on it.
latter, because he is a terrible piece of shit of a human being. Henley was promptly interrogated, and after going over the details of that...
Like, dude, I fucking obviously don't advocate for violence and shit, and I always try to find the peaceful way out and, try to save everybody. But, dude, there are some people that don't need saving, dude. There are some people that are beyond saving, and they just deserve a biblical smackdown. Just like a fucking Old Testament biblical smackdown. A beatdown from God.
morning's killings, he began to tell a much darker story. He said that Dean Corll was a predator who had tortured and murdered teenage boys for years. Henley said that he and another boy were tasked with procuring victims for him. He said that bodies were buried at various locations: the boat shed, High Island, and Sam Raven Lake. He began listing off the names of the victims that he could remember. When the officers, doubtful of Henley's testimony, ran the names, they discovered, to their shock, that they were all missing persons. At 6 p.m. that evening, the officers drove Wayne Henley out to Southwest Boat Storage and began an excavation that ultimately would wind up lasting several days, with 17 bodies being recovered. But back on the evening of August the 8th, the press soon arrived, and Henley made several statements to them about Corll's crimes and his involvement. Henley then asked one of the reporters if he could use his car phone, yes, they already existed back then, to call his mother. Henley said, "Mama, it's Wayne. I killed Dean. It's my fault. I can't help but feel guilty. Like I killed those boys myself. I caused them to be dead. I led them straight to Dean." Footage of this confession.
What the bro? Dude, if I'm that guy in that blue shirt, as he's saying that, I'm fucking bashing your head into that car. What do you mean you feel like you've killed them? You literally did kill them! You fucking brought them there! What do you mean? You literally helped fucking rape one of the victims, and you fucking literally helped kill one of them! Like, what are you... Oh my god, dude, there's no way, dude. There's no way people like this exist, dude. Chat, I'm looking at it, like I'm watching it. I'm watching the footage, And like I can't believe this, dude. In order for me to remain sane, I have to reject this, dude. This is not real, bro. This dude, no, dude. There's no what. Oh man, dude. Uh, dude, me with my anger, dude. I would have fucking beat the shit out of this kid right on the spot, bro. Like what? Dude, you're gonna have the chutzpah to fucking no, dude, you don't
David
have the
Brooks went
right.
with his father down to the Houston police headquarters, had admitted to having procured victims for Dean Corll, but flatly denied that he ever participated in the subsequent murders. But on the morning of August the 9th, Wayne Henley contradicted Brooks's story by giving an eerily calm, open, and full confession about the complicity of them in the torture and murder of the victims. Without batting an eye, Wayne admitted to killing 9 of the victims himself. That afternoon, Henley and Brooks were taken out to Lake Sam Rayburn, where police recovered 4 more bodies. That evening, back at the station, under pressure from his father to come clean, David Brooks admitted to having been present at numerous torture and murder sessions, but continued to deny that he ever directly tortured or murdered anyone himself. The next day, on August the 10th, Henley and the cops headed out to Sam Rayburn Lake again, where 2 more bodies were uncovered. That afternoon, both Henley and Brooks went with the police to High Island Beach, where they discovered 4 more bodies, bringing the confirmed total to 27, making it the highest death toll from serial killings in recorded American history at the time. Once authorities found all the bodies,
He had the highest recording of American killings from one serial killer at the time, dude. Oh man.
Brooks and Henley had described in their statements, further excavations were called off. Joseph Lyle's body was later found on a beach in Jefferson County in 1983, bringing the total to 28 victims killed between 1970 and 1973. But most investigators have concluded that the death toll was decidedly higher. Henley and Brooks went in front of a grand jury for the first time on August 13th, 1973. Over the course of the next month, Henley was indicted for 6 counts of murder, and Brooks was indicted for 4. Henley was not charged with the murder of Dean Corll, which the grand jury ruled as self-defense. The district attorney wanted the oddly detached Wayne Henley to undergo psychiatric examination. This would determine whether he was fit to stand trial, but the move was opposed by Henley's lawyer, who claimed it would violate his constitutional rights. The defense attorney later changed his mind, however, and asked for the exam. The request was denied, and the attorney's own damn arguments were thrown back at him. Henley's case went to trial in July 1974, with the prosecution calling for life imprisonment, but openly lamenting that Henry's age prevented them from calling for the death penalty. Okay, yeah, because he was underage. Which, I mean, yeah, life without parole. You can't execute someone who committed crimes when they were a child. So life without parole. Come on. The defense called for a not guilty verdict.
Oh, I forgot about that, dude. He's a fucking child, dude. You lucky fuck, dude. You're so lucky this didn't happen in Saudi Arabia, dude, because we would have fucking thrown stones at you. Oh, these stupid fucking rules, dude. Honestly, dude, you can't just make one exception, you know? Kill one kid on the death penalty. I mean, he's not even a fucking kid anymore, chat. I don't even care if I sound like a monster. This kid, this thing who's posing as a human being, like, bro, what? Oh, I'm so angry, dude. Like, I'm just fucking Christ, bro. Dude, like, oh. I already know this fucking video is gonna get demonetized, dude. I don't even care, dude. This shit just got me so mad. Like, bro, justice was not served here, Chad, at all.
At the time, and supposedly being coerced.
Like, bro, I don't give a fuck if he's a minor, dude. Like, he's a teenager. You know what you're doing at that time. Like, bro. Like, I hate this fucking double standard that we don't have for teens. Like, oh yeah, you know, they're responsible enough to have jobs and fucking do this and that and blah blah blah, but they're not responsible to face the consequences of their actions and fucking be put to death when they fucking do some monster shit like this. Like, what the hell?
By Corll to commit these crimes. The just following orders defense, not really that strong. The defense's arguments were undermined by the sheer brutality and sadism of the acts Henley had described in his earlier confessions to police, which turned the jury against him. His attorney did not call any witnesses, and Henley himself did not take the stand. The jury only needed to deliberate for an hour and a half before finding Henley guilty. They sentenced him to 99 years for each of the 6 counts of murder, totaling 594 years.
My guy got 543 years.
Notorious Huntsville prison. Henley appealed the verdict and
Fucking
conviction.
maximum security. Fucking moron.
Wait, who?
The fucking idiot kid who was helping him, like the fucking kid who like so when all of this started, the guy, like the dean guy, the fucking murderer guy, he fucking literally basically just straight up like fucking, I forgot how it happened. I think he either like walked in on him or some shit. I forgot what the situation was, but he basically just told him like, hey, like, will you help me bring fucking, people to my yeah, because I think he just saw him kill somebody or some shit. So he was like, hey, I'll pay you like 100, 200 for each kid that you bring me or whatever. And like being that he just saw him kill somebody or some shit, he just accepted.
Yeah.
Citing a mistrial primarily because the jury had not been sequestered and they were therefore prejudiced against him by lurid media accounts. In 1979, Henley was granted a second trial wherein the defense team tried to get Henley's confessions to
And like he
police.
like really accepted, because it's one thing to just be like, yeah, dude, and then as soon as you're free from this guy, and you're home, you can fucking call the cops. But then it's another thing to fucking help this guy out for 3 years, dude. Like what? What?
Detailing all the brutality and sadism ruled as inadmissible. This was overruled, and the defense spent the next 9 days attacking the credibility of the confessions based on Henley's own disturbed state of mind at the time. But the details of Henley's complicity again poisoned the jury against him. Yeah, because he's a fucking monster. And the verdict was upheld. Elmer Wayne Henley, now aged 68, remains imprisoned, having been moved to the Mark Stiles unit in Jefferson County, Texas. However, he is next eligible for parole in October 2025. Oh, so he spent basically his entire life in prison, which is fucking where he belongs. Don't parole this sick fuck.
Yeah,
He
don't
deserves to
parole
be in
this
prison and die
fucking
young.
bastard.
Meanwhile, David Brooks's trial took place in February and March 1975. Although Brooks had been indicted on 4 counts of murder, he was brought to trial for only one: the brutal torture and murder of 15-year-old Billy Lawrence at the beginning of June 1973. Henley had also been convicted of this one the previous year. Why are they only doing... This guy was doing stuff with him for longer. Lawrence had been tortured and repeatedly violated for 3 days, from June the 4th to June the 7th, one of the longest of any of the known Coral victims. While Brooks had not actually strangled Lawrence to death, he had actively participated in the torture sessions over those 3 days and been involved in the victim's abduction and had stood by as the victim was killed. By the Texas legal definition of the time, he was as guilty of murder as Coral and Henley. Brooks's initial claim to the police about not being present at any of the killings would work against him with the jury, as did the written confessions of Wayne Henley, which asserted that Brooks was present at all but a handful of the murders. Ultimately, Brooks was found guilty and sentenced to 99 years in prison.
99
Brooks remained
years in
emotionless
prison.
as the verdict was handed down. Brooks's wife Bridget burst into tears, and Brooks's daughter Rachel, born in 1974, learned nothing about
Dude, you have a wife and kids and you were doing this shit, bro?
His wife and kids just never see this nigga was gone for dumb long.
Like, it's one of the accomplices. Like, one of the accomplices has a wife and kids, and you were just helping this guy do this shit to other kids. Like, bro, you're fucking...
father until she was 17. She visited Brooks once in prison, but was killed in a car accident shortly thereafter, coming home from a high school prom. Oh. Back in 1979, Brooks appealed the verdict, trying to claim that during his 2 confessions to police had not been properly informed of his legal rights. But the appeal was thrown out. Brooks spent the rest of his life in the Texas prison system and died from COVID-19 at the age of 65 in a makeshift prison ward.
Look at him, dude. He looks like a fucking retard. Haha, you died of COVID, you fucking moron. That's what you get. That's what you fucking get, you little weakling. Yeah. I don't even feel bad. Haha. I hope you feel shame. You died by COVID. A man-made disease. You died by another man. Fucking loser.
That's crazy.
At the Galveston Hospital on May the 28th,
You died by inhaling another man's fucking job. You fucking loser.
2020. And I think we can all just say to that, oh no! Dean Coral escaped any kind of formal justice and accountability for his crimes. His funeral was attended by 40...
And not to undermine anybody else who died of COVID, it's just this specific one guy, dude. This guy's a fucking... Fuck this guy. Like, actually, fuck this guy.
people in August 19th.
Just for anybody who has weak lungs.
Yeah, like, cause I fucking, I understand that shit, and I know it's not their fault, but this guy, dude, yeah, fuck you. You did get that. That's your fault, dude. You that's your curse. You got cursed with, that's what you get, you fucking pussy.
73. Jesus, why do you just throw him in the sea? It was just a
Yeah, just throw him in
15-minute
the
service
fucking
closed for
sea,
media.
dude.
There was no music. Due to
Why
Coral's
would they even have a funeral for this guy? Yeah, you should have just fucking dumped him in the sea like Megatron.
military service, an American flag was somewhat perversely draped over the top of his casket. How about if someone's a fucking horrible piece of shit, you don't do that? His mother
Oh, why?
Mary maintained
Yeah.
to her dying day that Dean Corral had not committed any of the murders of which he was accused. Instead, she thought the murders were committed entirely by Henley and Brooks, and Dean Corral had been murdered when he discovered what was going on. To quote, he was not a sex maniac or sadist. The people who knew Dean, who worked with him, who raised him, will never believe these terrible accusations.
Oh,
To David
yeah?
and Wayne, you can lie, plan, and plant evidence, and shift the blame onto one who cannot defend himself, but you surely know that your days are numbered, whether it is behind bars or walking the street. Oh, Mary, your power of denial is fucking extraordinary. Dean Corral's ex-girlfriend, single mother Betty Hawkins, maintained a similar view.
You literally saw your own kid hanging out with fucking, like, underage boys and you're still in denial that he fucking did all these murders, bro. Like, bro, you lucky I don't beat the shit out of you myself, you fucking dumb bitch. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You literally saw so many signs of your son being a fucking predator, pedophile, murderer, and you just did nothing, dude. Like, you just thought that his farts smelled so sweet. You thought that there was roses and dragons tucked up in his fucking asshole. Like, bro, look at you,
That's
dude.
crazy.
Look at you. Because of your fucking negligence, because of your fucking thinking that you're fucking just so awesome and that your son is just so fucking, his fucking cock is 11 inches.
Oh my
You,
god.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this bitch just think that his son can do no wrong. Like, what the, bro?
And claimed that just days before Corral was killed, he told her that he was driving to Colorado.
Hell no, dude. I don't trust nobody, dude. Not even family, dude. Like, the people closest to me are usually the ones I suspect the most, dude. Because they're the ones that usually have the most motive.
And asked her not to tell David Brooks that he was
Yeah,
going.
bro.
Hawkins
Yeah,
aimed at
dude, I don't
Corral
give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Like,
You're
bro.
not gonna get me.
as, quote,
Yeah, you're
one of
not,
the
dude.
kindest
You're
men
not
I ever
gonna
knew.
hoodwink
If he
me.
had something and someone needed it, he'd give it to them.
Yeah,
As
and,
far as I
that's
knew.
another thing, Chad. I typically end up fucking like distrusting just kind and nice people like that way more. Cause usually people who are like just fucking, they just only act kind and shit, they're hiding something, bro. I don't like people like that. They're hiding something. They're putting up a facade. I don't like that. I'd rather you like, if you're having a bad day or some shit, or you just don't want to talk to anybody. You just like fuck it. I'd rather you just be mean to me and be an asshole, or because like, at least I know, hey, dude, this guy's feeling emotions. This guy's in a fucking psycho. I'd rather you tell me, hey, dude, fuck off. I'm walking here. Rather than, just, oh, yeah, like every fucking time. Oh, yeah. Fucking all honky dory, nice and shit. You think I don't see past your genjutsu, dude? Genjutsu of that caliber doesn't fucking work on
He
me.
didn't have any special hobby, unless it was helping people.
Fuck
An
him.
interesting
Yeah.
choice of words there at the end, isn't it, Betty? Also, massive power of denial. Likely all of this was symptomatic.
Like,
of a
that's what I'm
deep
saying.
root
Like, you don't need to be fucking filming yourself or putting on like some grandiose smile to do a right thing, dude. Like, I could still do something nice for you and tell you to go fuck off at the same time.
tethered state of denial from the two women who had otherwise struggled to justify caring for a man who
Like,
turned
I
out to
could,
be an
I could still fucking, if I'm on the McDonald's line, I could still pay for the guy's meal behind me and still, fucking be like, hey, fuck off, Don.
evil monster. Yeah, it's got to be hard because you're like, oh no. Yeah, I totally fell for this. And he was a mega psycho. He was just wearing that mask. Yeah, I get it. I get it. As for the justice meted out, there was actually very tenuous evidence regarding the extent to which Brooks and Henley were involved in the Candyman murders, and virtually nothing beyond their own confessions.
Damn, they're
But
called the Candyman murders.
it is clear that the juries, and indeed the entire shell-shocked Texas justice system in the 1970s,
Oh, is he the Candyman? Is that why that reference comes? Like, watch out for the candy. Oh. That makes a whole lot of
were to
sense
see
now.
both
Wow.
young
That's
men behind
actually
bars for
fucked up, dude.
life. And let's
Damn, now that I know the story, that reference is actually grim, dude. That's fucked. Holy
face it,
shit.
this was Texas. Many people would have preferred both young men to pay a visit to old Sparky, but
That feels the same weight as when you find out that all the nursery rhymes that you were taught as a kid, like, Fucking ring around the rosy, pocket full of dildos. Like, you know, fucking. All that shit is about the plague, dude. Fucking people, like, literally dying and fucking collapsing or just dancing around, making kids sing this shit. Like, what? Oh,
Since
man.
then, numerous psychologists and commentators have debated the extent to which Coral managed to groom and brainwash Brooks and Henley into being procurers, torturers, and killers. Yeah, I don't believe they deserve the death penalty because they were minors and they were groomed, but I'm sorry, but you can't torture and kill people and not go away to prison forever.
No,
It's just
dude,
you
I
can't.
do. And you know why I do? Because if fucking kids in like Afghanistan or Syria or fucking, you know, wherever, Yemen, you know, fucking doesn't matter. Point is, you know, kids in like places like those, if they could pick up an AK and fucking be shot right in the face by a Barrett 50 cal from a US soldier, you know, because he picked up an AK and was attempting to shoot a soldier, then I fucking think these fucking stupid little rascals should get the death penalty too, bruh. If you were an accomplice and you're a fucking teen, and like, let's be honest, dude, teens have fucking, like, you know, they know right from wrong. Like, obviously, they aren't the best at fucking acting on it, which is, you know, the maturity, but you still know right from wrong. Like, you know that this is wrong, and it's ultimately your choice if you want to follow it or not. Like, that's why kids sometimes get made fun of, you know, and they get called goody two shoes or whatever, the teacher's pet, you know. Fucking the kids that would be cool because they would break the rules and act, you know. That's kids knowing what's right from wrong. So if you fucking know that you're doing something wrong and you're going that extreme, dude, where you're helping a fucking 40-year-old fucking, I don't even know the words to describe this fucking piece of shit. You're helping this fucking monster defile these victims like this, bro. Hell yeah, you should get fucking put down, dude. Like, what? Why would I want to let you keep maturing into adulthood? Why would I want to let you keep breathing in this world, dude? Like, what? You are literally a risk. Like you are actually like a flight risk, bro. Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would I want you
You
around
can't.
civilians?
Brooks began his association with Coral at the age of
Like,
12.
bro, I wouldn't even want you around other inmates, dude. Like, you would probably get fucking you'd probably get raped and like it. Like, what?
Henley met Coral at the age of 15. Brooks was many times
Like,
sexually
you that shit would probably happen to this guy in jail, and he'd probably turn around and be like, all right, is it your turn now? Like, what?
abused by Coral. There's no evidence that Brooks actively murdered anyone, though he definitely partook in torture. Henley, on the other hand, after a short while, seemed to embrace the sadism and bloodlust of the killings. But to what extent is a traumatized and manipulated teenager culpable for having his mind contorted by an adult and not immediately coming to his senses? Both Brooks and Henley were terrified of Coral. They both admitted to the police that they had actually, at one point, discussed killing him. Ultimately, Henley did come to his senses and managed to save the lives of both Rhonda Williams and Timothy Curley in the process, but only after dozens had died. Alternatively, both Brooks and Henley displayed clear psychopathic traits when they were examined by mental health professionals, particularly Henley, who showed no emotion throughout his trial, cheerfully chatted with journalists, and has shown very little sign of remorse in the decades that he's been in prison. It is possible that Coral chose his accomplices fellow psychopaths and sexual sadists. This isn't so far-fetched. Approximately 1 in 100 people are psychopaths. Approximately 1 in 10,000 people are full-blown sexual sadists. Houston.
1 in 10,000 people are full-blown sexual sadists,
What
and
the
what
fuck is that?
and 1 in 100 people are psychopaths.
Enormous population of 1.3 million in 19.
A sexual sadist is somebody who like gets off of like torturing people. Like how I told you that the guy would literally shove glass rods in the fucking children's, you know, dick holes and then shatter the rods while it's in them. That he got off from that. Like, he would get hard and shit. Like, fucking basically torturing people in sexual ways and not on some BDSM shit. Like, you know, like, they're actually, like, dying when you're doing this shit. Like, you're actually causing them bodily harm. And you're getting off on it. Like, it's arousing you. Like, that's sexual sadism. The sadism means you like hurting people. Like, you enjoy hurting people. And the sexual, obviously, you know.
1973, and there is some circumstantial evidence that indicates Brooke and Henley weren't the only young men Coral involved in his crimes. Allegedly, Billy Ridginger, for example, had come to trials with a paper bag over his head with aisles cut out, refusing to utter a word. He was only later identified with journalists. Yet if others, like Ridginger, had been involved in torture and murder, then surely they would have been implicated by Henley when he was spilling his guts to police in 1973. Yeah, I feel like that would probably be the case. It seems like he just confessed to everything and talked to the media and everything. The question remains, and likely always will, did Coral poison the minds of two innocent young boys by sucking them into his twisted world, or did he see something in them that he also saw in himself? In 2001, a documentarian visited Wayne Henley in prison and asked him
Honestly,
whether he was a serial
dude,
killer.
I like to think that the reason that he chose those two boys to help him do all these crimes is because he saw something in them that reminded him of them. Because if you remember, chat, fucking two of like the victims or whatever, like he brought to them because he had some vendetta against like a fellow classmate or some shit, and he wanted revenge, and like he got like he fucking liked it, and he helped them fucking kill them and shit. So like, bro, what? Like, no.
Henley replied, "No, Mom, I'm not a serial killer. I'm an accomplice to a serial killer. I was a stupid,
No, you are a
ignorant
serial
child."
killer, dude. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
But you can't torture and murder people, even if it's by association.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To a
Like,
serial killer.
even when I hung out with this kid, dude, like even I fucking felt eerie and shit. And, like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like when my fucking friends started hanging out with bad crowds, I just stopped hanging out with those friends. I don't care what you tell me, dude. Like if you're getting along with somebody and you're fucking ending up enjoying the company that this person is providing, even if it's like something bad and nefarious and evil, then that obviously means that there's something wrong with you, dude. That means that there's fucking something that you should seek help for. Like, what the fuck? If you are acknowledging that you are chilling with a guy that is killing, torturing people, and you're just okay with this, dude, and it doesn't bother you, like that, like, bro, what? That has nothing to do with you being a child, and bro, what? Like what? No, dude.
Stupid, ignorant child. Yeah, but you can't torture and murder people, even if it's by association, and not spend the rest of your life in prison. It's just how it is. I will leave you to weigh those words and judge the case for yourself. Dismembered appendices. Number 1. The official death toll for the Houston mass murders is 21. However, we know that Dean Coral committed a number of murders without Henley and Brooks, who are our only witnesses to his deeds. We've only uncovered a handful of the murders Coral did solo, and then only because Coral had told Henley and Brooks about them. When Houston authorities reached their expected total of 27 bodies, they stopped all excavations, despite Henley insisting there were more. Given the number of young men who fit the victim profile and went missing in Houston between 1970 and 1973, Dean Coral's kill count might be as high as 42. This would account for the long hiatus where Coral appeared to stop killing. Serial killers generally cannot stop. Number 2. We have strong reason to suspect that Coral began killing victims long before 1970. In one interview, David Brooks claims that Coral had told him about a murder he committed in 1968.
The serial
And we
killers
know that
cannot
from
stop
1965
killing.
to 1968, when Coral ran the candy factory, he was already aggressively pursuing underage boys and burying quote-unquote defective candy in his office. Oh yeah, this was all before. Go dig up the office, go dig up the parking lot. And an area later converted to a parking lot. It seems sensible to have these places excavated. If we apply the average frequency of Coral's kills as far back as June 1965, when Coral returned from military service, and cross-reference them with missing persons cases, then the kill count rises to as high as 100 potential victims. Furthermore, in 2015, an Indiana man found a child's femur in the crawl space of the house where Coral
Oh
lived with
my
his
god, so this guy might actually be in the triple digits of victims? Dude, there's... Oh...
What years was this nigga active for?
I don't know, but apparently when he fucking... Wait, hold on.
Into a kill count rises to as high as returned from military service, and cross-reference them with Coral's kills as far back as June 1965, when Coral returned from military service.
In 1965, he returned from military service, and basically that's when this all began. So from 65 to like
missing persons
I guess
cases,
like
and the kill count
75.
rises to as high as 100 potential victims.
He could have
Furthermore,
100
on
potential
2015, an
victims
Indiana
because the
man
cops
found a
didn't want.
child's femur in the
After
crawl space of
27
the
bodies that they found, the cops just didn't want to keep looking. But the guys that basically told them were all 30 bodies that they found so far. So basically, the people who weren't lying and that were telling them where the bodies were, they were insisting that there was more bodies, but they just didn't want to keep looking.
house where Coral lived with his grandmother from 1959 to 1962. So it's possible Coral got started as a serial killer as far back as 19 years old, meaning that his kill count could go even higher than 100. You need to excavate that parking lot and the office.
So this guy
what is
could have
going
been
on?
killing since he was 19 years old, dude. Holy shit. Dude.
That nigga went crazy.
10 years?
Just get it done. Number 3. Coral's record for the highest death toll in American history at 27 victims was surpassed by John Wayne Gacy with 33 victims in 1978. Indeed, Gacy was watching news coverage of the Houston mass murders in 1973 and later claimed that that's where he got the idea for the handcuff trick with which he also restrained his victims. However, we don't know how long Coral operated. His total might
So
actually
apparently
be
John Wayne Gacy, like, you know, the fucking guy, like one of the other murderers, he apparently, I guess, kind of more or less got inspired by him because he was watching that shit at the time when the news was breaking out. And he got it, that's where he got his technique of, like, hog tying people because he saw him do it.
Gacy's out of the water.
Honestly,
Number 4.
Austin, I
Of the
usually
28
stay
bodies
quiet
police
'cause life
ultimately
is
discovered
chaotic,
between
but I hate rapists. I hate people who touch kids, and I believe they should be put to death.
Yeah, me too, dude. I'm not, disagreeing with you here, Johnny.
1973 and 1983, only one of them remains unidentified.
I
The
don't
body
like
found
to
in the
let
boat
my
shed dressed
emotions
in
get the
stars and
best of
stripes
me.
swimming
I
trunks,
also
a
don't
peace
like
sign
the
shirt,
word
and
rape.
black leather cowboy boots, colloquially known
Them
as
niggas need to
swimsuit
get
boy.
put to death.
He was murdered in 1971 or 1972. He had dark hair and spinal bifida,
Swimsuit boy.
a birth defect that affects the spine and basic locomotion. 3 missing people's cases from Houston fit that profile. One of them, 15-year-old John Harmon, phoned his parents claiming that he was being held for money before he disappeared, much like Charles Cobble did. Another credible anonymous tip claims that the name of the victim is Robert French. The investigation continues. Number 5. A Polaroid picture of a visibly distressed young boy manacled to Coral's torture board, taken in 1972 or 1973, was found among Henley's personal possessions. The boy in the picture does not resemble any of the known victims of Dean Coral, including Swimsuit Boy, whose broad age, facial reconstructions, and hair color do not match. Henley himself says that he does not remember who the boy was. Look at the picture online at your peril. No. And don't include it in the video editor. It's grainy and low quality, but apparent distress of the boy in the photograph makes my skin crawl. I don't advise it. Number 6. Numerous witnesses identified
Oh,
Coral,
man.
Henley, and Brooks.
Yeah,
burying
we're not
bodies
looking
Galveston
at that chat.
Beach
I don't
between
want.
March
I
and
don't
May
want to look at that.
1973. However, police have never excavated the area. Police, what? Is there a reason that they're not going to excavate these bodies, or something that I'm
They're
missing?
just- they're just
because
lazy.
it seems like we know where there's lots of bodies, and police just don't want to go digging. It seems like then we'd close cases.
It seems like
no?
they just have like their
Number
fucking
7.
dicks up
Dean
their
Coral once told
asses.
Henley that he was associated with a Dallas-based sex trafficking ring, but Henley had subsequently thought this was a lie. However, in August 1973, around the time that the Candyman bodies were being dug up, investigators uncovered a Dallas-based sex trafficking
Play
ring
if I ain't got
of
you.
John David Norman, who ran the so-called Odyssey Foundation, a national network trafficking thousands of underage boys, servicing up to 100,000 clients across the United States, including a long list of celebrities, politicians, and government employees. It was sent by Dallas police to the State Department only for the latter to suppress its contents. Holy shit, that is some conspiracy level shit right there. A subsequent police raid in Houston in 1975 on a place connected to the Odyssey Foundation uncovered numerous pornographic photographs, including pictures of 11 of Coral's victims, so it is possible that Coral might have actually had a connection to trafficking. Number 8. Another person possibly connected to John David Norman.
Damn,
was John
and
Wayne
this
Gacy.
guy also had a connection to trafficking? Holy shit, dude. What the fuck? This guy's just racking up fucking crimes like their abilities on a skill tree.
Had fled to Illinois in 1973 after Dallas police
The
rumbled the
fuck?
Odyssey Foundation and set up another ring under the name of the Delta Project. Gacy was not only well connected with the Illinois Democratic Party, he also frequently boasted about having powerful underworld connections. So is it possible that the rabbit hole goes much deeper than just Coral and Gacy being 2 isolated serial cases with similar MOs and victim profiles? They may have had links to a network of predators that included the rich and powerful, not so different from the rumors that swirl around Jeffrey Epstein and his associates in our own day. And that's where we end today's utterly brutal and
That's
long
crazy
episode.
that he actually
Thanks for
mentioned
being here.
Jeffrey Epstein in this video. That's fucking kind of creepy. Oh man. Oh, that shit was crazy, Chad. Oh fuck. Man. Well, thanks for sticking by. If you stuck through the whole video, I'll have both of the parts up on YouTube, and peace.